sit down with Tom Meredith, the co-founder and CEO of BitMinutes, and discuss how they are using prepaid phone minutes to help bank the unbanked.
BitMinutes is a asset-backed crypto. It's backed by something that 4 billion people use every single day, which is prepaid phone time. We don't see that here in this country, but 4 billion people literally have to buy their time in advance.
Wow.
On average, they've got $10 of prepaid time trapped in their phone. So what we do is we say, look, buy BitMinutes, because BitMinutes can be used by all 4 billion phones. We work with aggregators on a global basis, so that BitMinutes today can be used to call what they call top up that phone.
Oh, wow.
So if they use BitMinutes and then convert it into cash in that country, where we support conversion into 12 countries right now, roughly 2 billion bank accounts, so 4 billion phones, 2 billion bank accounts, and for the 2 billion people who are unbanked, we give them a free mobile wallet to help them gain access to the banking system.
Oh, wow. So you kind of do it all. Like, you help them with the
We've spent 5 years building a global ecosystem.
Oh, 5 years. We've been talking to people that have spent like 5 minutes with their project. You know what I mean? Which still, we're like, okay, that's 5 more minutes than the last person.
Right. You're up to 10 minutes now.
Yeah, 5 minutes is okay. I mean, 5 years is a long time.
We had to lay the groundwork, so we worked with the major banking systems called Swift. You may have heard of, for wire transfers. We worked with MasterCard years ago to run on their network, and then we did Ripple, and then we did Ethereum, and now we're looking at Stellar and a couple of other blockchains to take our token to be credited by the 4 billion phones or the 2 billion bank accounts. And again, for the unbanked, we had to create a wallet, because you say, well, how do you bank an unbanked person? You've got to bring them into that ecosystem. So the BitMinute acts as that on-ramp to cross the world between the prepaid phone time that's trapped in their phone and cash.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I feel like you guys, a lot of people are doing specific things, and yours is kind of creating an ecosystem within so that you can sustain your own project.
Exactly. It's more of a horizontal application for 4 billion people who are unbanked.
So where did this whole idea come from?
I've been working on this for a long time. I've been involved with eCash effort for the last 10 years. I wrote a patent that I couldn't get through the patent office that described a smart contract. Yeah, I know. It's like they don't like anything
the PTO is, they have their
sounds like you've had some personal experience.
A little bit, yeah. So what countries is it currently in, and what countries do you want to bring it to?
Half a dozen countries in Africa, Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, here in Latin America. We got the Philippines is up and running, India, Sri Lanka, I think, is on that list. And so we're going after Pakistan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia. So we're working with some large distributors in those countries to get as broad a distribution as possible. Because we can send the BitMinutes to top up a phone, but if we don't have a banking relationship in that particular country, we can't turn it into the local currency. So we've got a dozen countries that where we do have these banking relationships, and then of course we have 70 under contract. So we got to keep rolling them out.
Yeah. I have a question. I feel like so many projects, again, people are trying to solve a problem. How did you realize that this was a problem, that there's these minutes that are just not being used? Like, how did you know that?
Well, I've traveled a lot internationally, and I've actually seen people say, well, if you're talking to your mom, and your phone dies out, because remember, you have to prepay your phone.
I remember
time.
The prepaid calling card. Well, yeah.
Right.
It's almost similar to the prepaid calling card.
So you basically turn to her and say, hey, would you send me a few minutes so I can finish talking to my mom? Now, if you're on the same network, that's not a problem. The carriers make it easy for you to send minutes to you,
cool.
Which is kind of cool. So it's like, these people are using prepaid phone time as a form of virtual currency. But it's only within the carrier. You guys have to be on the same carrier to make that happen. So what we did is we thought, okay, fine, we'll take this token and make it so that it works on your carrier, and now you can provide a universal. It's like we thought about calling it a universal currency coin, or toying with different ideas.
Yeah.
But when Bitcoin came out, and we've been playing with this before Bitcoin, we said we'll call this BitMinutes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Catchy.
Yeah.
And so it can be free top up. In other words, I can top up, send phone time to these 4 billion people. If we have the banking relationship, we can turn it into cash, so that becomes now free money transfer, because we're not charging a fee. And if you remember the $10 I told you was trapped in there? If you buy our BitMinutes, we will lend against that on a 2-to-1 ratio. So if you've got $10 of BitMinutes, we'll lend you $20.
And
Wow.
So how do you get that back though? Like,
They have to pay it back.
Okay, but like, what is there a fee involved in that?
Nope, there's no fee.
There's no interest. There's no.
Now there's interest.
Okay.
But we're charging roughly half the going rate for unsecured loans in these countries because there's like 100% interest rates on small unsecured consumer loans in these countries where they don't have banking. So you turn to the local loan shark. So we're at half that rate or lower depending upon the country.
So you're really helping these underserved communities, like have their own banking account.
We're trying to bank the unbanked.
Yeah, it's full service.
Full service, right?
Yeah.
Free money transfer, a guaranteed $5 loan, which again you couldn't do before all this blockchain and tokenization stuff, because how the heck do I track a $5 loan that I made to you that you're
It's more like a favor or barter in that.
right? So, but how do you keep track of that? And because when we know who you are, we know your phone, we know you got the $5 from you being the dealer that made the loan, so we know who you are, we know you are. That all goes on the blockchain. We can follow it.
Well, that wraps up our interview with Tom Meredith of BitMinutes. Be sure to check back for more interviews from Crypto Invest Summit.